Chapter 17. 4 words from the universal law. Anastasia, what about those 4 words from the universal law? The words that the dark-haired referred to. The ones that define the life's purpose of each individual man and of all mankind as a whole. Do you know what they are? Yes, Vladimir, I know these 4 words. Those that define the common task facing mankind. Can you utter them for me now? I can. Then utter them. Anastasia rose to her feet and, painstakingly speaking each word, said, "Perfect the dwelling land." And that's it? I said, disappointed. Yes, that's it. To be perfectly honest, I thought they'd be some unusual magic words. These are unusual magic words from the universal law. These are the most important words of all the divine programs. With their help, it is possible to determine the degree to which both an individual person and mankind as a whole are necessary for the universe. With their help, it is possible to determine the usefulness or uselessness of the earthly laws conceived by people. Perfecting the dwelling land means perfecting yourself. All that exists within the universe and on earth represents through itself a united dwelling land, inseparably interconnected, and with man in the center. Perfect the dwelling land means give birth to and raise children who are more perfected than yourself. Each generation should be more perfected than the previous. For this to come about, the generation that comes before should present the following generation with a more perfected dwelling land. In perfecting the dwelling land, man perfects his own thought. The perfected dwelling land quickens and refines man's thought. In perfecting the dwelling land, man comes to know immortality. In perfecting the dwelling land, man turns the earth into the most perfected planet of the universe. Earthly perfection permits and helps man to perfect other planets of the universe. Universal perfection permits and helps man to create new worlds. Where is the edge of the universe? What will I do when I come to it? When I have filled everything with myself, when I create that which I have thought? A man of the wellspring people asks God, and replied to his son, "My son, the universe is a thought. A dream was born of the thought, and it is partially visible as matter. When you come to the edge of everything, a new beginning and continuation shall your thought discover. Out of nothing will arise the new, beautiful birth of you, and of the aspiration reflecting in itself your soul and your dream. My son, you are endless. You are eternal. Your creating dreams are within you." Anastasia fell silent, astounded by the unusual annotations and by the meaning of the words she had uttered. I kept on looking at her. And with complete clarity, I suddenly realized she isn't simply a taiga hermit living in the Siberian taiga. Not simply an extraordinarily beautiful woman. Anastasia is a person from another dimension, a dimension where human intelligence triumphs. She senses and sees this dimension of intelligence. She is worthy of it. Of a dimension in which a perfected, happy creator man makes the planet Earth the most beautiful planet in the universe, and the planets of the whole universe, delighted by his earthly creations, call to him to contemplate them too, to touch their surface ever so lightly, even with just their hand, and through a smile give them a future. how unbearably painful it must be for her to look at today's earthly bechamel. But she gave birth to 2 children, and was not put off by the danger that the anti-rationality that rules today would swallow up her children. That means she is convinced that everything will change on its own, or that she will change it herself. Anastasia, given your worldview, isn't it painful for you to look at today's reality? Very painful, Vladimir, Anastasia whispered. How do you bear such pain? By creating pictures of a beautiful future, admiring them, and delighting in them. The joy of beholding them vanquishes the pain. And what's more, there is even more benefit from such beholding. The way you imagine the future to be is the way it will come to pass.